Hello everyone, I'm Apurva and welcome to day 5 of my series 100 Days 100 Problems, where I solve your Powerapps challenges and turn them into working solutions. Let's read our today's problem. I'm trying to have a grid method to save data for each question using radio inside a gallery. I'm passing a variable from screen 1 on selecting a radio button. When user selects any of the below items like combustible products, traditional oral, and so on, then its respective value in the screen 2 radio button should either be in edit or else disabled. Assume variable A is equals to THP, then in screen 2 THP radio button should be in edit mode and rest should be in disabled mode. Now here is the catch. For question 2 and question 3, it is irrespective of the variable value. Combustible products radio button should always be in edit and others should be in disabled for question 2 and 3. Now the problem is for question 2 and question 3, it is either all the columns are disabled or all the columns are edit. I only need combustible products to be in edit mode for question 2 and 3. First, we'll need a SharePoint list for this. So let's create one and let's start by adding some relevant columns like question, then combustible product, traditional oral, THP. So I'm adding all the options that were mentioned in the question. Now I'm just going to add some questions so that we have something to show in our gallery once we connect this to our Powerapps. Also note all these columns are yes or no data type and by default their values are set to yes. I'm just going to set them to no. Now on screen 1 we need radio button so that we can add our options like combustible products, traditional oral, THP, modern oral and so on. Now we need to set a variable so that the selected option in this radio button will be captured in that variable. Then let's connect our SharePoint list to our Powerapps. Then I'm going to add a collection so that I can load my SharePoint list into that collection. Then I realized we need one more column which is question number where we'll store Q1, Q2 and Q3. So let's add that. Then finally on the second screen we need a gallery where we'll load our collection. Then in this gallery we need 5 radio buttons. I'm going to create the same UI that we saw in the screenshot. Then I'm also adding one more label for question number. Then let's change the items for radio buttons to yes, no. Then I'm adding one more label to see what is the variable value that is getting set in the screen 1. Now if the variable value is THP, I need the radio button for question 1 to be enabled for THP and disabled for rest all of the other options. So I'm writing the formula and once it's working, we'll set the same formula for all the radio buttons. Let's bring our radio buttons from screen 1 to screen 2 so it's easier to select the options. Now here notice that whatever option I'm selecting in the radio button, only those options are enabled, the rest are disabled. Now our formula works for question 1, but for question 2 and 3, irrespective of the variable value, we need combustible products to be enabled and rest options should be disabled. For that, let's add multiple conditions and once the logic is working, we can apply the same logic on all the buttons. Now, as you can see, I have another option selected, but still for question 2 and 3, combustible product is enabled. And now we need to apply a similar logic for rest of the radio buttons so that they can be disabled. And this is only for question 2 and 3. Now let's test this. Finally, we have all the radio buttons meeting the user requirements. Now I'm going to clean the app a bit and let's see the final look. Here is the final look. The only extra thing that I've added here is a submit button, and for which I'll share the code at the end. Here is the code for the submit button. We are using ForAll and Patch function. And that's it. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe.